All right, so let me go ahead and start this off. I do want to mention this, the harness is completely labeled, so you really cannot get it confused. But either way, I'm going to go ahead and cover all the details and show you probably any question that you might have. Mind this harness are brand new, and this is mil spec wire, okay? This is not like the regular wire you can find at Walmart or anything like that. It's very slim and it's very durable wire. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start from the back. You can see here we have a firewall cover right there. We do offer that separately, so if you are interested in that, we have them in the website. Usually the OEM one, when you run a thin harness like this, you are gonna get a bit of air coming through. So with this one, you can see it's a little bit tighter, and you shouldn't have airs coming in as normal as if you have the OEM cover there. So want to go ahead and mention, like I said, the harness is all labeled. So you can see here we have C1 and C2, 3, and 4, and that's going to be for the coil pack cover. We have the VTC here. We have the VTEC for the back, and here at the bottom we have the oil pressure sensor, and at the bottom we have the one for the crank. One thing I do want to mention, and I want to cover in very detail, okay, if you have a K24 swap, you are going to have to get the K20 sensor there, okay? If you don't want to do that, you can swap out the plug to a K24 sensor, but it's just easier to just swap over the sensor itself. That way you don't have to worry about any wiring or anything at all. Just get the plug, put it in there, and literally you're good to go. So that is something I do want to mention. All right, so we're going to work our way forward. Okay, one thing a lot of people get confused is between the intake and exhaust sensors, because this literally are identical. This plug in the front and the plug in the back are identical. One thing I want to mention is the lighter color here in the front is going to be for the intake. So you can see here, it's the baby blue one right there at the front, so if it'll focus. Okay, so if you ever get confused and you don't know which one goes to what, it's always going to be the light color here, because the one in the back, we have darker colors. It won't really pick it up here, but you can see. But that's just for reference. We have the temp sensor here in the bottom, okay? And then we work our way back. We have the reverse, and then I haven't plugged that one in yet. And then the back, we have, you won't be able to see it, but that's for the speedo. Okay, and then we work here on our way forward, and quickly gonna go over some of the details for the plugs. So here, this one is gonna be for your starter. Let's see if it'll focus here. Okay, it's gonna be for your starter. Okay, and this is for K-swap cars. So this is the coolant temp. Most of the K-swap cars will have a coolant temp that you can just plug it in here, and that way they can read that inside. So this harness could work for a K-swap, not could, it will work. Okay, want to reference that again. And here we have, see, everything is already labeled here for you guys. We have the the intake temp sensor, okay, and then we have the TPS, and again, everything's already labeled. Let's see if you can pick it up here. There you go, TPS, so you cannot get it confused. And we have the IAC, okay, and here we have the map sensor. Again, everything's already labeled for you guys. You cannot get this confused. And here we have the injectors. Okay, one thing I do want to cover about the injectors, Jesus, this thing will focus. Okay, the injectors plugs that we put on all the harness are OEM injector plugs. Okay, you can easily swap over to a different injector plug. If you do want, like, you have a different brand, you can just email us and we can swap them over for you. There's going to be an extra charge to swap for different brands. Okay, I do want to mention that. So in here we have the injectors, and again, the injectors are all labeled, so you cannot get them confused either. Okay, so we got injector 1, 2, 3, and 4. So one thing I do want to cover for the injectors is they all come with OEM pigtails. Okay, that's one thing I want to cover. Next thing I do want to cover is for the knock sensor. Okay, for the knock sensor plug, we only put a K20 knock sensor plug. Okay, there's a lot of people that don't run them, but the people that do want to run them, I do want to let you know that that is the knock sensor that we run. You can swap them over for the K24, or you can just get the K20 sensor. That is up to you. And the last thing we have here is the alternator plug right here, and that will go right to it here. Okay, and this is for the K20 as well, alternator. I think the K24 is the same. Don't get me that one correct, but guarantee it is the same. So yeah, I mean, You can see the harness is super slim. I'm gonna go ahead and put the cover on. Oh, one thing I did forgot to mention is we have a ground here, and we also have another ground here. Okay, sometimes we'll put them attached together, but on this harness we decided to do them a little separate, so you can, you know, make a ground right here and you can do another one on the valve cover. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start putting everything back in, and you can see how it looks once everything is all buttoned up. All right, guys, so here's the last clip of the harness completely tucked in and wired up, and I'll show you guys a video of the car starting, and pretty much go a quick overlook and show you how tucked the harness really is and how clean you're able to really run this. So you can see here, clean, simple. I will highly recommend to get the little harness cover right there. It's very cheap, it's nothing crazy, and it works great and it looks great. So you can see it for yourself. Nice clean look. I am not using the IAC as of right now, so we have deleted because we're doing an 80 mil throttle body, but with the stock one you can see it running there. And yeah, guys, look, see it for yourself. I'm gonna go ahead and start the car and show you that the car starts and our harness are 100% good to go. Okay, all right, here we go, guys. First start. Let the fuel pump prime a little bit. I do have a bigger fuel pump. There you go. Go to the front, show you how that looks. All right, and there you go. See it for yourself. Harness is there. All right. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and hit me up through email. That's going to be the best way to really get a hold of me, guys. I respond very quickly, so do expect a response to be back to you within a couple hours, okay?